An unexpected and highly emotional moment occurred at John F. Kennedy International Airport, New York. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, was caught on camera crying inside a car just minutes after meeting Park Jimin. What exactly happened during that meeting? And why was Jungkook's reaction so emotionally overwhelming? Field sources stated that the meeting between Jimin and Jungkook was brief, but intense. Jungkook arrived at JFK around 6:50 p.m. local time, and shortly after was seen meeting Jimin in one of the private airport lounges typically used for VIP guests. Initially, it was unknown that Jimin would be there. His name was not listed on any international flight manifest or in the official schedule released by HYBE. However, the fact that they met at such precise time and location immediately triggered suspicion and speculation regarding the true purpose of the encounter. What was even more surprising happened shortly after their meeting ended. Several local journalists and fans stationed in the VIP parking area of the airport managed to capture Jungkook's expression as he got into a black car leaving JFK. Cameras caught him turning his face toward the window, wiping away tears, while staff gestured for the vehicle to depart immediately. The tears were real, not staged, and instantly ignited discussions across social media and global fan communities. What was actually said or happened in that meeting that made Jungkook cry? An eyewitness close to the lounge area stated that both were speaking in low voices, but their facial expressions were very serious. Jimin was seen bowing several times, while Jungkook briefly held his friend's hand. "That wasn't just a casual meeting," said the witness. "There was a heavy emotional weight, even though I couldn't hear what they were saying." When Jungkook walked out first, he looked like he had just experienced an emotional explosion. The meeting came just a day after Jungkook officially wrapped up his international concert tour in Berlin, Germany. However, his departure to New York was not part of the public schedule. According to an internal statement that leaked to Korean media, Jungkook was originally scheduled to return to Seoul for rest after the tour. His trip to New York was not part of the agency's official plans, which implies something personal and urgent. This event has triggered speculation about the emotional tension Jungkook and Jimin might be experiencing. As known, despite being BTS members, the emotional dynamic between them has been under scrutiny in recent years. There were times they seemed very close, and other times when they hardly appeared together publicly, especially after the military service phase began for BTS members. Was this meeting a reconciliation after a long communication hiatus? Or was it a heavy conversation involving their career futures, both individually and as members of BTS? Rumors about potential changes in direction for each member's solo project also resurfaced. Some believe Jungkook's tears were triggered by a personal or professional conflict brought up in his talk with Jimin. Some fans even suggested the meeting could have been a final attempt to mend a strained relationship or to deliver major decisions concerning the group's future. An internal source, who requested anonymity, mentioned that in recent weeks, there had been significant differences between BTS members regarding how solo and group projects are managed. These differing visions are considered normal in the post-military transition phase, but if not handled properly, can lead to immense psychological pressure. Jungkook is someone who is very sensitive to emotional dynamics within the group, the source said. He values honesty and personal connections deeply. If there's unresolved conflict, it emotionally weighs him down. Public surprise grew further when Jungkook's official Weverse account showed no activity following the incident, as if he momentarily disappeared from the digital space. Fans, who are used to his regular interactions, felt something different this time. He usually checks in, even when he's busy. But this time, he's completely silent, noted one International Army member. Meanwhile, Jimin was seen leaving the airport through a different route. Unlike Jungkook, who appeared devastated, Jimin looked calm, though he avoided smiling and gave no comment when fans tried to record his exit. There was a heavy aura surrounding both of them, an aura that cannot be described in words, but one that made millions of fans feel that something serious had just taken place. Entertainment industry analysts advised the public not to jump to negative conclusions from this moment, but also not to ignore the fact that global artists like Jungkook endure intense psychological burdens. In a past interview, Jungkook once stated, "Communication and trust among members are the foundation of BTS." That statement is now being quoted again, as it indicates that meetings like this aren't just about business, but about deep values and emotions. Mental health professionals say that moments like this highlight the human side of a global celebrity. "Crying is not weakness," said Dr. Han Ji-won, a psychologist who works with K-pop artists. "It's a form of releasing pressure that's been bottled up for too long. We don't know what really happened, but it's clearly not something light." With no official statement from HYBE yet, the room for speculation remains wide open. But one thing is certain, the meeting between Jimin and Jungkook this time wasn't just about timing and location. Something was said. A decision might be pending. And more importantly, there's pain, honesty, and tears indicating that behind the scenes, things aren't always as perfect as they seem on stage. Now, the public waits in suspense. Will HYBE release a clarification? Is this the beginning of something new? Or the closing of a long unresolved chapter? One thing's for sure, Jungkook's tears in that car weren't just a simple emotional response. They were a signal that beneath the fame, achievements, and polished image, there remains a fragile, deeply human side. And that the meeting with Jimin at JFK was far from a coincidence. However, after further investigation through multiple reliable sources, including confirmation from HYBE label staff and reports from official media outlets in South Korea and the United States, the information regarding Jungkook's tears after meeting Jimin at JFK Airport has been declared inaccurate and unfounded. Several circulating videos turned out to have been taken at different times and locations and do not provide concrete evidence of an emotional moment as previously reported. HYBE's official representative confirmed that Jungkook was indeed in New York for private meetings with international music labels concerning his solo project, while Jimin was in transit on a personal journey and had no scheduled meetings with anyone. The photos and videos that were speculated to capture an emotional reunion were actually from two separate incidents unintentionally aligned by fans and social media. Furthermore, the agency reminds the public to be cautious in spreading information that has not been officially verified, especially when it involves the mental health and emotions of the artists. The narrative of Jungkook's tears, secret meeting, and emotional conflict with Jimin has been declared lacking factual basis. Therefore, the report that Jungkook broke down in tears after meeting Jimin at JFK Airport can be concluded as a purely emotional and speculative interpretation, without authentic supporting evidence. The public is urged to remain critical and not be swayed by viral content alone, and to respect the privacy of artists who often fall victim to distorted information in this digital era.